Welcome to the NAPA Auto Care Georgia podcast, brought to you by the Atlanta NAPA Business Development Group. Here is your host, Adah Grace.
Hello, NAPA Auto Cares. Welcome to the NAPA Auto Care podcast. I have Chad Wilson here with me today. What's happening at headquarters?
Oh, not much. Today we're going to talk to Ryan Moon he's got a couple shops in Atlanta. We're going to talk to him on his perspective. He's one of the newer members, and it would be nice to get his view on everything.
Certainly.
Ryan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, cool. Well, you're on the podcast. We're basically, I just said that you own a couple shops in Atlanta, and so what I'd like to do is maybe you give us an idea of the shops that you are that you own and you're currently helping to bring to current day with some of the stuff that you have done, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for having me on. I'll start out with just a little bit of history about us. I'm a third generation here at Moon Service Center. We started in the 1940s by my grandfather. He actually ran a garage and worked on race cars at the Peach Bowl in downtown Atlanta. My father was born in 1955, and at that point, my grandfather bought a garage on Echo Street in Atlanta. It's actually still there. It's turned into a bar called Westside Motor Lounge. In 1973, he bought the present location that we're at in Mableton. 1990, we became a NAPA Auto Care Center. Around 2000, when I was born, my dad purchased the building next door, and at that point, we opened a NAPA Truck Center. He joined the Auto Care Board in 1997 and just retired this year after 27 years, now with me being the newest member. I was going to talk a little bit about our fleet work, if that's all right.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something we want to talk about.
Yeah. So we do about 85% fleet work, with our truck shop being almost 100%. Kind of just want to talk about the value of B2B, the business-to-business fleet work. The change after COVID with the shortages and long repair times, all these companies were losing, so much money with having a truck down. At that point, they started to care a lot less about the discounts for, having so many trucks and more about the quickness of the turnaround. They would lose, hundreds of thousands per day with the truck down. And, we had a company like a couple weeks ago that they had a truck down, and it was going to be 3 or 4 days on the aftermarket part, but the dealer part was in stock, and it was $2,000 more. But he wanted to go ahead and do that because having that truck down, he was losing, $8,000 a day. So it's just, there's a lot of value in it. We start out, we kind of just build relationships with the fleet managers. These fleet management companies, a lot of people, have a lot of negative thoughts about these companies with the percentage they're taking off the top and whatnot. But there's ways. I think it's more about just the things that you can do to deal with that and overcome it. Sometimes we have to charge an admin fee. And these companies will also send us work just by signing up and being a preferred vendor. Once we build relationships with these fleet managers and these ones that are under these fleet management companies, if they lease the trucks, there's not much you can do because it's going to have to go through that no matter what. But if they own the trucks and they're just paying these fleet management companies to look over the repairs, once you build a trusting relationship, you can have that conversation with the fleet manager and sometimes get around that and just end up billing direct, and both parties are saving money. You can give them that discount straightforward, and they're not paying that total repair order price. That's kind of that's the fleet management company is billing them for.
Yeah, I think a lot of this fleet work is stuff that a lot of your shops don't think about. I'm pretty sure that you and I were two of the few that do fleet, and it is very, very profitable. It's about 60% of my business. It it raises the valleys in your year flow economically, to where you're bringing your valleys to your peaks. And you can think about it. It's almost kind of an old school way of doing things. Like you said, one of the things that I did is I would actually go knock on the door and talk to the fleet manager. And that's how I got a lot of our business. And we are part of some of the fleet management groups too, as a preferred vendor, and they send us work. But I did that exactly, was go befriend the fleet manager, and it turns into a lot easier situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Another thing is government contracts. It's also fleets, but it can be very profitable. They have really large fleets that are on the road every single day. They're always needing work. Police, DOT, sheriff's office, DA office, colleges. That's also a big thing. And I think if there was some way that NAPA Auto Care could make some partnerships with some of these large multi-location fleets across Georgia, we could like dealerships and Pep Boys and Goodyear. I know they all have a lot of contracts with these bigger fleets. I don't see why we couldn't do the same thing.
Yeah, we definitely could, and that's a good idea that we need to start trying to bring to the forefront of these people that are controlling a lot of our interests. We buy into a brand, and we need to start trying to direct it in the direction we want it to go, and that's a good idea.
Right.
So with you being, I know you're not new to it by any means, but what are some of the problems you're seeing with, maybe not problems, but maybe concerns or future concerns as far as maintaining technicians, and getting new ones and growing them inside of your business? How are you guys looking at that for the future?
Really, we've had a lot of our guys for a long time, as we've expanded and whatnot. Really haven't had a lot of trouble with it lately, but definitely could see where the classes and whatnot could help to get some of the lower end guys up to speed with the guys that are a lot more profitable.
Yeah. Is there a concern about some of your techs that have been with you a while aging out?
You said aging?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. One of our older guys, he's actually been out for 6 or 7 months. He had shoulder surgery, so he's been out with that. But we were lucky enough. One of our managers, he had known a younger guy that was from one of his shops previously, and he was able to get him to come over and come on board with us. So that's helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
While the older guy's been gone.
That's good. Retaining employees, quality employees, and looking to the future is, I think, something that's always going to be on our minds. And being able to find the replacements and the quality replacements, which I think was an issue. I think it's becoming less of an issue. It's just how to handle the new breed, if you will, that's coming up.
Right.
I do have another question for you. Is what made you want to become active in the business development group outside of your dad prodding you to do it?
It was mostly that. I mean, I just wanted to keep relationships, with other shops, other auto cares, and just keep in the know on everything going on, and kind of try to, put my younger mind, try to put it out there a little bit, and just help everybody out.
Yeah. And that's where, like, I'm in between the group that's going out and the group coming in, and so it is nice to have perspective that you've come in with. It's nice to see that, and it's nice to see a generational thing happen with you guys. That's something that I hope happens with my businesses.
Absolutely.
So that's, I guess, another thing with all this stuff. How much do you think benefits are going to weigh in in the future for you? Is that something y'all currently have? You're actively trying to get? Do you think that's going to be something that's going to be a thing to benefit you in retaining employees?
No, we don't currently. But I mean, it definitely wouldn't hurt. We try to just pay our guys as much as possible. Try to take care of them in that way. But I mean, it definitely wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, that's something that's been a big factor for our guys, especially lately. We've had a few have some pretty major medical things happen in their lives, and our benefits have definitely helped them out, which is something that we're trying to do with NAPA and the BDG, is be able to make it. We didn't intend it to roll out to a national thing, but it looks like it may be rolling out as a national thing in the future. So hopefully that'll give everyone inside of the NAPA Auto Care umbrella the ability to offer it affordably.
Absolutely.
Well, Ryan, I really appreciate your time. We try to keep these podcasts as something somebody can listen to on their way to work. You have been very informative, and I look forward to getting to know you. I had the pleasure of I didn't get to know your dad as well as I would have liked to have had, but I did at least get to know him somewhat, and that was a pleasure for me. And hopefully I get to know you even better.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, if you have any questions about what we talked about in this podcast today, email napabdg@gmail.com. Well, that's it, folks. Come back next week for another episode.